Batukeshwar Dutt, the man with the mission to make the deaf hear. An unsung revolutionary from the working class community, Batukeshwar Dutt is a name known to many Indians merely through his association with that of his fellow freedom fighter Bhagat Singh. Also known as BK Dutt or Mohan, this is the story of a fierce political activist and loyal friend who strived to make his country free from the British rule, but whose identity later faded from the limelight of the independence movement. Early life. Batukeshwar Dutt was born to a Bengali family on November 18, 1910 in the Owari village of present-day Purba, Bardhaman district in West Bengal. His father was Gosht Bihari Dutt and his mother was Kamini Devi. He also had a sister to whom his friend Bhagat Singh used to send letters during his time in the independence movement to keep her informed and updated about their activities and location. Early on in his years, Dutt shifted to Kanpur to complete his schooling from the Theosophical High School and Prithvinath Chak High School in Kanpur. He became a part of Indian independence movement from a young age itself and dedicated most of his life to secure freedom for his country. Later he was married to Anjali Dutt, with whom he had a daughter named Bharati Dutt Bakshi. Post-independence, Dutt was part of the filming of a movie titled Shaheed 1965, for which he was one of the writers. Political life and activities. The spark of rebellion against the British forces was ignited in Dutt during his teenage years when he witnessed some of the British people beating a child at the Mall Road in Kanpur. The incident had a huge impact on Dutt and it spurred him to seek out like-minded political activists who opposed the British colonialism in India. Hindustan Republican Association. Dutt became a member of the Hindustan Republican Association, a radical organization started by Ram Prasad Bismil to fight against British colonialism. It was here in 1924 that Dutt met Bhagat Singh and the foundation of a lifelong friendship originated in the HRA. He also became acquainted with Chandrasekhar Azad during this time. The HRA used to conduct secret meetings in several places to hold discussions with their members. Dutt attended these meetings and learned the mechanisms of creating bombs, which would later become a defining event in the history of his life. Defense of India Act 1915 and death of LALA Lajpat Rai. These were two of the critical events that led to the bombing of Central Legislative Assembly in 1929. Also known as the Defense of India Regulations Act, the British government passed the Defense of India Act in 1915 as an emergency criminal law following World War I to curtail the revolutionary activities of the people involved in the freedom struggle. The HRA strongly protested against this as it gave immense power to the British forces to control the political activists. This was further aggravated when one of the freedom fighters, Lala Lajpat Rai, was heavily beaten as a part of the Lathi charge and died a few days later from a heart attack. The Public Safety Bill and the Trade Dispute Bill introduced by the British government further added fuel to the fire of aggravation growing among the Indians. It was the tripping point for the HRA, including Dutt and Singh, and they came up with the plan of Central Assembly bombing. Central Legislative Assembly bombing 1929. The incident that catapulted Batukeshwar Dutt to infamy occurred on April 8, 1929, when the members of the Central Legislative Assembly met in New Delhi were carrying out discussions in the present-day Parliament of India. As the meeting was going on among the members, Dutt, along with Bhagat Singh, launched two smoke bombs from the visitors' gallery into the empty seats in the Central Assembly Hall. The room was soon enveloped in smoke, and amid this, both Dutt and Singh shouted slogans of Inqilab Zindabad, Long live the revolution, and Samrajyavad ka nash ho, down with imperialism. Following the bomb, they also threw pamphlets that stated their mission. It takes a loud voice to make the deaf hear. This slogan is considered as a historical record that completely portrays the convictions of the fearless revolutionaries. Neither of them tried to hide themselves when the chaos ensued, but resolutely stood their ground to ensure that their voices were heard by those who rejected them continuously. Their surrender led to their arrest and subsequent imprisonment for life in prison. In the Lahore Central Jail, both Dutt and Singh did not cease their efforts to achieve their goals and worked tirelessly towards them, especially after witnessing the difference in the treatment towards the Indians and European prisoners. They, along with other political activists imprisoned there, made several demands and engaged in hunger strikes in order to attain the same treatment for them for the government that was given to their counterparts. Fearing the tension at the public that may result due to the issue, the government granted some of the rights to the prisoners. An incident involving the shooting of a British official by Bhagat Singh resulted in his death by hanging in 1931. Batukeshwar Dutt was shifted to Andaman Cellular Jail, where he spent his time with the Kalapani prisoners to protest against the inhuman treatment of the officials. He contracted tuberculosis during his stay in prison and was eventually released in 1942, a few years after the death of his long-time friend. Quit India movement. After his release from prison, Dutt's participation in India's freedom struggle continued with his involvement in the Quit India movement, also known as Agast Kranti movement, that was launched by Mahatma Gandhi in 1942, demanding the end of British rule in India. As a result of his engagement in it, Dutt was again arrested and imprisoned for a period of 4 years in Motihari jail in Bihar. Post-independence life. After India gained independence in 1947, Dutt was soon forgotten by the government as well as the public. The absence of due recognition from the government, coupled with a lack of job, resulted in him living in poverty and without help. All the approaches to the government for securing employment only resulted in disappointment for him. Dutt was somehow able to find a job in the transport sector after trying various other avenues. He led a quiet life with his wife and daughter till his death in a Delhi hospital, as his identity got erased from the minds of those people for whom he spent a large part of his life fighting for: death. After much sacrifices and contributions to the Indian independence movement, B.K. Dutt passed away in AIIMS Hospital in Delhi at the age of 54 on July 20, 1965 due to an illness. Although often overshadowed by his comparators, his death was honored by cremating his body in Husainwala in Punjab, the same place where his colleagues Bhagat Singh Sukhdev and Rajguru were cremated much earlier. Legacy. In recognition of the brave acts and sacrifices of Batukeshwar Dutt, a residential colony located near AIIMS Delhi was named after him as B.K. Dutt Colony. In 2019, the Indian government declared that the Bardhaman Junction railway station in West Bengal will be renamed after Dutt as a tribute to the freedom fighter. The government also renovated the ancestral house of Dutt as a heritage structure, and it was later inaugurated and opened to the public as a tourist spot. A museum dedicated to his brave hero was built near his house in Bardhaman in 2015, which is yet to be inaugurated. To further honor the political activists, a grand statue of Dutt was installed in Patna by the Indian government. On the 100th anniversary of Dutt's birthday, the Indian government publication service known as the National Book Trust published a book written by Anil Verma titled Batukeshwar Dutt, Bhagat Singh Ke Sahyogi, which is the first of its kind after him in any language. Dutt's presence is also showcased in 2002 film The Legend of Bhagat Singh and is portrayed by the actor Bhaswar Chatterjee. In addition to this, an anachronistic mention of Dutt can be found in a book published in 1989 titled Gopala Purathu Makkal by K. Rajana Narayan, where Dutt is stated to have died in 1929 during his hunger strike. Conclusion. Batukeshwar Dutt's rebellious spirit and patriotism can never be forgotten or erased from the fight for freedom from the British forces. Even though his name may not extensively adorn the pages of Indian history, Batukeshwar Dutt's voice always echoes in the cries of Inqilab Zindabad shouted by India's youth.